Hello everyone, I'm Deb Courtney and welcome to my channel. I've decided to film outside today. I may do this quite a few times during the summer months here in Carolina. The weather's been really nice and we do have some hummingbirds around here and some flying things. So if you see one zip by, you'll know what it is. However, my topic today has to do with something that really took me, and I'm still working on it, on how to get our thinking up. You know, the first time I ever heard about getting my thinking up, it had to do with my husband. And I think it had to do with the business decision that we were going to make or that he was looking at making. I really wasn't that on board with it to begin with. And he had to do some talking to me. I had to get clarity on it, and he did that. And he showed me the numbers about it. And so he mentioned the phrase, honey, you really need to get your thinking up. And so this was very early on in our marriage. We were married 30 years. And so I'm thinking, get my thinking up. How do I get my thinking up? What is that? And so I tried. I tried day after day to get my thinking up. And it's a process. It really doesn't come overnight. And there's no time frame on it really. Because depending upon what's happening in your life will be contingent on how much thinking you got to get up. So I said, okay, let's go forward with it after much discussion, and I talked to some other people about it. And so we did, and it was a very good thing to do, and it served us well. And so that was good. So that was the very first time that I had heard the phrase, get your thinking up. Now, it was not the only time he used that phrase with me. There were other times that he's told me, he says, Deb, you're just gonna have to get your thinking up, dear. It's life, it's business, it's this, it's that, whatever it was at that time. And so I would take my time and due diligence, and I would look at it from this angle and that angle and so forth and so on. And so with business and things of that nature, it's a different kind of getting your thinking up than it is with relationships and personalities of other people, friends, relatives, siblings. So there's different ways that you have to look up, the contingent on what the topic is and where it's going to fit into your life. Finances, career. So yeah, and you know, it's all fault right here. That's where the battle takes place. We kind of all know that. And so, but it helped me. And so I have used it not only on myself, and sometimes I'll even say to myself, hey Deb, you really, girl, need to get your thinking up. And so I use that even 35 years down the road, 40 years down the road. And so, and I have expressed it, I've used it on some other people that I know, family members and relationships, friends of mine, you know, hey girl, get your thinking up. You know, you might like this, da da da. And so they would go do their due diligence and ponder on it and find out, well, you know, it wouldn't be such a bad idea. You know, let's go. And so they went for it. There are some benefits to thinking, maybe what you might say, get your thinking up or thinking out of the box. And so I want to kind of give you some of those thoughts, those points that help me to do that. And so the first one I want to really say is be very conscientious to listen to the right voice down in your spirit, saying the right words, to have the thinking, the mind we've heard about the mind of Christ, and we have people that are wise people in finances, in stocks, in business, that we like to talk to them and glean from them and to find out what their thinking is. But sometimes you have to really have a discerning spirit in regards to being very conscious of, is that the right voice for me to listen to? And so you have to take time to do that. And it's not wasted time. Believe me, it's not wasted time. So that would be one of the first points that I would want to kind of let you know about. And some people may call it self-talk. And that's always to ponder, to go over and over and over again. So that would be the first thing I want to say, is just be conscientious of the right voice that you're listening to in your head. And so if it's not if it's not a win-win situation, then you might want to take a look at it again or get some clarity in regards to getting your thinking up in regards to a certain topic or a certain subject, whether it be business or relationships. Most of this has to do with relationships, but it can also apply in businesses also. When you have a negative spirit will not help you to get your thinking up. It will not. It will mostly bring you down. You will not walk away with what you're looking for with a negative spirit and a negative attitude. So you've lost the battle from step one. So it's very, very important that you do that. And be obedient would be the next one. Be obedient to the correct instruction that is given you in your self-talk, when you're thinking about what you're contemplating and doing in order to get your thinking up. And look at it from every angle. I always did that, and sometimes that's more confusing than if you then because sometimes you get, well, dang, I'm overthinking this. Am I really? And then you get frustrated, okay? And so you got to go back and get back to simplicity of it and say, okay, what would be the correct instruction in order for me to get my thinking up, in order for this to be a win-win for me situation and go forward in an opportunity, whether it be a personal relationship and or a business relationship. So that would be a point I would take into consideration. You were created to have a life of abundance. You were birthed. You were from birth. You were birthed to have a life of abundance, and a lot of times, a life of abundance basically has to do with right thinking. And so sometimes we have what they call stinking thinking, and so what we want is right thinking. We want to get our thinking up, because stinking thinking is a subtraction from us, from our personality, from who we are, who we were designed and created to be. And so that would be the next thing, that you are born to be an abundant person, to live in abundance. And you really need to get your thinking up if you're not living that. Everybody at some point in time or another goes through that. Don't feel rained on. I have had stinking thinking quite a few times in my lifetime. But that's what the other two points were before, And so it's nothing wrong with it. Just see it, acknowledge it for what it is, and turn around and get your thinking up. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is, fill your mind and your thoughts with words that bring about a positive mindset and a manifestation of what you're interested in having and what you're interested in obtaining. You can't get that with stinking thinking. You have to get your thinking up. And it is sometimes, a lot of times it's a stretch for us to do that. But it's doable and it's obtainable. You just have to have that dogmatic bulldog tenacity like I kind of have in regards to having a mindset, because let me tell you something. This girl, moi, loves manifestation of good things in my life. And in order for that to sometimes to happen, to take place, I got to get my thinking up. Sometimes it's just that simple. So yeah, right. And then the last thing I would say is learn to get along with people. Get along with others. No man is an island to themselves. No woman is an island to herself. We need people. And so learn to get along with others. And when you study their personality and how they're wired, this always helped me. I always go back to the personality and find out how they're wired, what their personality is, so I can get my thinking up to where they are at as far as their personality is concerned. A lot of times it takes quite a few conversations to do that with an individual, to have that kind of relationship. And so I would say that's one of the things I had to learn. You can't do life by yourself. And so learn to get along with others. And another thing, this is just another a nugget that I'm just going to throw out there for you, is get to know the weaknesses of your enemy, so you'll know what tool you can use in getting your thinking up to overcome that. You do have an enemy. From the day you were born, you do have an enemy. And a lot of times, now it's very slick, he's very deceptive. And a lot of times you really have to have that mind of Christ to get your thinking up so you can do what you were designed and created to do and have. And that's an abundant life, an abundant living. Don't settle for less than what the best is for yourself. If you do that, you have gotten yourself over into stinking thinking. And it's okay. Just when you see that, turn and go in a different direction. So I hope this by all means is not all the things that anybody can use in order to get your thinking up. There are, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of ideas out there that you can do that with. Hey, by all means, in the comments down below, tell me what you have used to get your thinking up. Share it with us. Share it with others. It could help somebody. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Ring the bell. Let me know. Let you know that you've got another video coming up. I'm glad I found you. I'm glad you found me. Make it a great day.